Hi everyone, sorry about that. Thank you for your encouragement and welcome to my second video. And this one we are going to talk about the Char Dham Yatra that me, my wife, my brother-in-law's father-in-law went on and a whole group of people. This was a yatra and we covered it in 15 days. So let's get into it and let me give you the nitty-gritties of it. Cheers. Before I go ahead, I want to say a big thank you to everyone that has subscribed to my video and liked my video. I'd like to thank everyone that sent me constructive, positive criticism, which I have taken into account as you'll see in this video. Right? So let's get into this video from here. And thank you once again. Hope you like this one and subscribe to it and share it also. Thanks. So things that you should know was Samat Krupa Travels organized this yatra. The total cost per person was rupees 25,000, which included sleeper class by train. The rest of the journey was by bus. Stay, food and travel to the destination was included in the package. At a destination, if you organized a horse car with 2 helicopter, this was all at your own individual cost. A few other things that you also should know, that this was a yatra and not a vacation or a picnic. So the accommodation was shared and we lived in dharamshala. Sometimes we were 4 people in a room or 5 people in a room. All other ticket passes, puja items or anything else was at your own individual cost. And timing was very important because we would start early in the morning as you travel the whole day, and temples closed between 2 and 5 in the afternoon. Just to give you a general idea, this is the roadmap of the Char Dham Yatra and it covers Uttarakhand extensively. A little inside, this is my group that we traveled with from Thana. Most of them are from Thana. And we also traveled with farmers from interior Maharashtra who were basically Varkari. They are called the Varkari group. They came with their own spiritual leader and they sang beautiful Vitthal bhajans. Most Char Dham Yatras start from Haridwar. Haridwar is an ancient Hindu city of great importance, and over here you have the Ganga Aarti in the evenings where you see beautiful flickering offerings like this floating across the Ganga. The Ganga Aarti in the evening is worth seeing. You can sit across on the island that has been created to watch the Aarti from across. This Ganga Aarti is different from the one in Banaras. In Banaras, you have a more coordinated Ganga Aarti, but this one is by different temples over here that are done individually to a common Aarti song going on across. You will absolutely enjoy it to watch it from across the river. The ghat where the Aarti takes place is called Har Ki Pauri, and all the temples that you are supposed to visit are based on this ghat. There is also a Chandi temple which you can visit, which has a cable car to go across. You can climb up the hill or you can take the cable car. This ghat is quite long and there are many other places where you can bathe. You don't have to bathe over here itself. People before starting on the Char Dham Yatra come to Haridwar so they can bathe, they can wash themselves in the Ganga and be pure. While bathing at any ghat at Haridwar, you got to be very careful and hold on to the chain, because this is the cold water that comes down from the Himalayas and it exits over here. This is the place where it leaves the Himalayas, and the force of the water is very strong. It will sweep you off your feet. So hold on to the chains and stay within the limits. or else you will get swept away. Most yatras, like I mentioned, start from Haridwar after a dip in the Ganga. But you can also start your Chardham Yatra trip from Dehradun. There is a package that will allow you to start from Dehradun also. To stay in Haridwar, you need at least 2 days, and you can stay in dharamshalas if you have the right contacts, if you have the right people. Otherwise, there are hotels also available in Haridwar which are a little more expensive than the dharamshalas. There are many places to visit in Haridwar, but the few important ones are Har Ki Pauri and the Ganga Aarti at the Har Ki Pauri, the Manas Devi temple and the Chandi Devi temple. Our next move was for Yamunotri. Yamunotri was a cool 226 kilometers from Haridwar, and this is in the Garhwal region of the Himalayas and is situated at 3,293 meters above sea level, approximately 30 kilometers north of Uttarkashi. Yamunotri is the seat of the Yamuna goddess. Reaching the temple is not easy. You have to get down 6 kilometers before the temple. You either take a horseback or a cart or you walk all the way. This is a very strenuous exercise and it's for the fittest. It has a lot of ups and downs, and the government has made beautiful pathways. We started at 5:30 in the morning to reach over there and came back only at 3:30 in the afternoon. There are hot water springs over there for you to have a bath, so do take a change of clothes and some fresh clothes for having a bath over there. It is a very strenuous exercise, and please carry some extra cash for puja. The bus ride from Yamunotri to Uttarkashi is about 129 kilometers. Uttarkashi is supposed to be the Kashi of the north. Before reaching Uttarkashi, you'll stop along the way so that you could be issued with a government pass. This pass is for tourist count and also to know your whereabouts in case there's an unfortunate event. I must mention over here, it is necessary for you to carry formal IDs or identification items and be ready to furnish this pass whenever requested by authorities. Uttarkashi is a spiritual area and is also known as Somya Kashi. This is in Shivnagar. After an overnight stay in Uttarkashi, we next day moved to Gangotri. Gangotri is about 100 kilometers from Uttarkashi, and before you reach Gangotri, there are hot water sulfur springs that you can take a bath in. So here too, you should carry change of clothes, towel and various other items. Gangotri is a place where the temple of Ganga, goddess Ganga is. A lot of people take bottles of water from here, from the running stream. The water is icy cold. The actual starting point of the Ganga is 18 kilometers up in the hill, which you can do a trek with. It is a very tricky and rocky place. You cannot bathe at the Gangotri temple as the water runs very fast and is very, very cold. On your return from Gangotri, you would have to have a stopover at Uttarkashi. Next day, you would travel to Kedarnath. But before reaching Kedarnath, you'll be stopping at Joshimath, which is a cool 381 kilometers. Kedarnath is another 180 kilometers from there, and it takes the entire day. So you start early in the morning. Joshimath is an important stopover in the Chamoli district. This is a place where you have important trekking expeditions, and this is the gateway to the Himalayas. After you pay your respects at Joshimath, you will then proceed to Kedarnath. Kedarnath falls in the district of Rudraprayag and is a cool 3,500 meters above sea level. You can travel up to Kedarnath by horse, by Pittu, that is the person carrying you on the back, or you can go there by helicopter, which has to be booked in advance. It is an 18-kilometer trek from base camp. The journey up to Kedarnath is not for the faint-hearted. It will try you in every way possible. This is the time where you have to carry your jackets because the possibility of snow anytime is possible. Our group didn't get snow once they reached the top. You got to be aware the temple closes between 2 and 5 in the afternoon, and it takes a real long time to reach up. Our group started at 2:30 in the night and only reached at 2:30 in the afternoon. Once you reach the temple, it is important to get your token and your number because you're let in groups. After 8 o'clock, the temple does shut, so you cannot stay overnight unless you have boarding and lodging at the temple site itself. The next leg of the journey is to Badrinath, which is 218 kilometers from Kedarnath, and it is at an elevation of 3,300 meters above sea level. On the way, you will pass Devprayag, which is in the Garhwal region of Uttarakhand. Here you will see the confluence of the Bhagirathi and the Alaknanda. You can see this by the two colors of the water. You will only reach Badrinath late in the evening. Please do keep your jackets handy because the night temperature could fall to -10 even in summers. In Badrinath, you can do puja for your ancestors and people that have passed away before you, your father, mother, and everyone that you like to pray for. As Kedarnath is dedicated to Lord Shiva, Badrinath is dedicated to Lord Vishnu. Badrinath has a flatter terrain and is easy to walk around. In 3 kilometers distance, there is the last village of Mana and the beam pool where the Pandavas crossed over on their way to heaven. The next place to move on from Badrinath is to Rishikesh. Rishikesh is about 300 kilometers from Badrinath, and you can see the beautiful Ganga along the way. When you travel, it will appear on your left, and there are beautiful statues and sites along the way which you can stop over and take photographs. Rishikesh is a holy city and it's based at the foot of the Himalayas. The water from the Ganga comes straight from the Himalayas. Over here you have the two main attractions are the Lakshman Chula and the Ram Chula. This is a good place to learn yoga and stay over. You will also experience nice quaint restaurants with a lot of gimmickry. We did not stay in Rishikesh. We moved to Haridwar and from there we went to Vrindavan. Vrindavan is again another holy city. It is dedicated to Lord Krishna and has 17 to 18 temples which are worth visiting. From Vrindavan, then we hopped on to see the Taj Mahal, which is one of the most beautiful places for lovers. And the history of Taj Mahal is very well known all over the world, built by Shah Jahan in the 16th century. A few things to note here is that being in a cold climate, you will need to have thermals, jackets and woolen clothing. Also, because this is a pilgrimage, there's no alcohol, intoxication or non-vegetarian food. The mineral-rich water of the Yamuna and the Ganga, if you drink it directly, it could upset your system. And do stay in the group because there is always safety in numbers. When you reach Yamunotri and Kedarnath, horsebacks and personal carriers are available. Helicopters are available at Kedarnath. They also have packages at helicopter packages to take you for a Chardham Yatra. The route is extremely narrow. The roads are extremely narrow, so please keep your hands and heads in. You could get hit by a moving vehicle that is coming from the front side or by branches and trees as you pass along. Helicopter packages are good, but there's an 80 kg restriction. If you do plan this trip, I wish you all the best. But before you go, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.